all. So today, me and my partner are going to be discussing whether the use of animals for sport and entertainment is amoral or moral. And so using animals for sport or entertainment purposes is immoral because it doesn't allow them to live and behave in their natural habitats, and many of these animals are used for such purposes are often mistreated. Animals have been a part of various sports and entertainments since the ancient times, and they are still being used until this day for human amusement. Having these animals as a source of entertainment may bring an interest to the human population. However, not many think about what happens behind the scenes of training the animals to behave like what they're told to. The use of these animals in the entertainment industry isolates them from their natural habitat. According to a scholarly journalist, Gary L. Francione, millions of animals are taken away from their families for the purpose of entertainment. As they are taken away from their natural habitats, these animals are kept in small cages and confined areas. According to Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, many entertainment animals travel with their owners or trainers for about 11 months of the year to the next destinations. During these months of traveling, the animals are kept in the same small cages or boxes for eating, sleeping, and using the bathroom without any control of temperature inside their cage. Aquariums or any other exhibits are considered animal prisons that yet limit animals to smaller spaces. Many of them would travel a certain amount of distance per day. For instance, some aquatic animals may swim thousands of kilometers a day and intake the senses that allow them to travel in their natural environment. However, since they are forced to travel only within their tanks or cages, it becomes a fixed and repetitive pattern on a daily basis for the rest of their lives. As audiences from the other side of the cage, we do not process the entire picture. We do not see the sadness and dullness that is experienced behind the glass window or locked cages. Because of this isolation from their habitats and this confinement, some of these animals begin to develop psychological illnesses. A lot of these animals suffer throughout their lives as they constantly feel a sense of loneliness, boredom, and continuous stress. A majority of these captivated animals begin to develop abnormal behaviors from being removed from their habitats and social structures, such as pacing back and forth, rocking, swaying from side to side, continually licking or biting the bars, and self-mutilation. Their behaviors are often monitored by trainers, so they do not get to express or fulfill their own desires. Animals used for these purposes are tied down to live in unnatural conditions that create this depression. Not only are these animals taken away from their natural habitats, many of them used in the sport and entertainment industry are often mistreated through the course of being trained and during performance. Throughout the entire scope of partaking in these events, there are abusive and dangerous methods used on these animals to achieve the behaviors that are desired. A former SeaWorld trainer, John Hargrove, speaks about his experience with working alongside the killer whales that he has trained. He spills the truth about how the killer whales were taken from their mothers when they were young, their teeth being drilled clean, and being deprived of food to make sure that the desired behaviors were achieved. Even though he truly valued working with such amazing killer whales, he eventually quit because he couldn't stand how he had to treat them so poorly. Other animals used in this industry, including bulls, dogs, and chickens, are usually beaten, drugged, choked, and electrocuted to get them to perform certain tasks. Some of these animals are even sent to slaughterhouses and killed and sold to experimental labs if they do not meet the owner's expectations. These animals have little to no protection from the way they are treated. Out of the 2,800 animal exhibitors are licensed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, under 10% of them are officially recognized and approved by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. A lot of the animals are also not covered by the Animal Welfare Act, which is a federal law that manages how animals that are exhibited to the public, transported, or experimented are treated. Without being approved by such experts, they are not legally protected from their trainers and are beaten and brutally abused to their death. Certain sports like bullfighting is a very cruel sport where bulls are technically beaten and brutally abused to their where bulls are practically tortured throughout the whole event. All these treatments towards animals is very wrong because these animals do not have a say in whether this is the life they want to live. Just because we are more intelligent and higher in the hierarchy, we do not have the right to abuse animals. They are forced to comply with these standards forced upon them as they suffer, physically and psychologically, from being captivated. Imagine if the positions were reversed. We would not want to be held under their control and being treated like how they are right now. Animals in the entertainment industry are trained to amuse large crowds, however, they are captured from their homes and trained to perform behaviors that will appeal to audiences. The animals are imprisoned and trained using cruel treatments such as starvation and physical abuse. Unlike us humans, these animals don't have a consent in whether they want to participate, rather they are forced to take part in sport and entertainment. They get injured and are treated with cruelty. Even though animals are different from humans, we should acknowledge that we both have one common ground, which is the potential to freely live our lives.
All right.